Welcome everybody. My name is Winnie Coco, and I work at the Office of Public School Monitoring at the Department of Education. And I'm here with my colleague, whom I'm going to let introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Julie Evans, and I work with Winnie on the Southeast team in the Office of Public School Monitoring.
Thank you, Julie. So some of you may be or may not be familiar with the focused monitoring review process, and that is what we're here to learn about today. And in a few minutes, I'm going to play a video that explains the review process. And this video is shown at every parent orientation meeting across the state to make sure that everyone gains access to the same information. So the team simplifies the language as much as possible for parents, but please feel free to field any questions that you may have. Or if you have anything that does not make sense to you, then you can just use the chat, and we'll have a question and answer session at the end, where Julie and I will respond to any questions that you have regarding the tiered focus monitoring review process. So briefly, this is a process that the department conducts in all school districts every 3 years to check for compliance with special education laws and regulations, and also civil rights. The activities that we engage in usually include looking at service provision in the district. We look at facilities, we look at procedures, and we also look at access in district programs for different subgroups of students. So I'm going to start playing that video in a minute, unless anyone has a question before we jump into that. But please just feel free to fill them, and then we'll respond to them at the end of the presentation. So this video is a 12-minute video. It's 12 minutes long, and it just explains what the entire process entails.
Of elementary and secondary education. This is made up of monitoring teams that work with school districts, charter schools, vocational schools, virtual schools, to ensure that many different state and federal laws and regulations for special education and civil rights are being followed. In this presentation, we will provide details about the tiered focus monitoring process. The topics will include the role of the Office of Public School Monitoring, the tiered focus monitoring components, the monitoring timeline, and how some of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education offices work together. The Office of Public School Monitoring is responsible for overseeing how completely and consistently school districts adhere to the requirements of federal laws and regulations for special education and civil rights, including the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA. Throughout the tiered focused monitoring process, the chairperson provides districts with guidance and technical assistance to correct areas where the district is not consistently or completely adhering to the laws, and also identifies areas where the district can improve its practices to further benefit students. The department will conduct a Group A tiered focus monitoring review focused on the district's special education process and procedures, as well as how the district provides equal opportunity and equal access to all students. There are 5 areas of focus the department will review: special education identification, parent involvement, IEP development, programming and support services, and equal opportunity and access. The special education identification process considers whether the district consistently proposes the required and optional assessments to determine a student's eligibility for special education. Parent involvement assesses whether the district ensures parents can meaningfully participate in the IEP team meeting and special education process. IEP development process examines whether IEP teams meet at least annually to revise or rewrite an individualized education plan based on the needs of the student and available data. Programming and support service verifies that the district provides the necessary range of programs and services to ensure students' IEPs can be fully implemented. Finally, equal opportunity and access assesses whether the district provides school-wide programming for all students, including vocational education, advanced academic classes, physical education, work study, athletics, and school-sponsored groups or clubs.
Tiered focused monitoring is the process the Office of Public School Monitoring uses to review how completely and consistently school districts adhere to the requirements of federal laws and regulations. Each school district undergoes tiered focused monitoring every 3 years. The review process includes the following components: self-assessment, parent survey, on-site visit, analysis of the information gathered and reporting, and providing district support when necessary. Let's look at each of these steps a little more closely. The district's self-assessment begins in the school year prior to the department's on-site visit. The self-assessment process allows districts to address any self-identified non-compliance and take steps to fix it, even before the on-site is conducted. The district selects and reviews a sample of their special education student records from that year's roster. Records are chosen and reviewed based on the department's selection criteria. In addition, the self-assessment looks at relevant policies and procedures regarding special education and civil rights. The district answers specific questions about their policies and procedures. The district then submits the results of their review to the department. This includes providing the documents they reviewed. In preparing for the on-site visit, the chairperson reviews all parts of the district's self-assessment and any additional documents provided. The chairperson also analyses data reported by the districts annually to identify discrepancies. The data reviewed includes graduation rate, advanced placement course enrolment, discipline, and special education eligibility and placement. The chairperson examines data for all student populations, including different racial or cultural identities, English learner status, or students with disabilities. The chairperson uses the self-assessment and data review to develop an on-site plan that helps examine areas in which he or she has questions or needs closer examination. Interviews are then scheduled with the Director of Special Education and Special Education Parent Advisory Council, or CPAC, chairperson. The CPAC is an organisation of parents whose children receive special education. All parents can join the CPAC. Additional interviews may also include other administrators and staff at the chairperson's discretion.
The chairperson sends a survey shortly before the on-site visit to all parents whose children currently have an IEP. Please keep an eye out for your surveys, as they sometimes end up in junk email. If you do not have a personal email, the chairperson can provide the survey in other ways. The parent survey has multiple choice questions and open response questions to capture parent comments. The questions ask about your experience as a parent with the special education process in a district. The chairperson reviews survey responses to gain the parent's perspective. This information enhances our on-site monitoring process and our discussion with the district. After the on-site visit, the data is compiled and reviewed. This thorough process enables the chairperson to determine if the district abides by the laws and regulations governing each of the specific areas examined. The chairperson, based on the analysis of data, student record review, and interviews, develops a draft report. This is then passed on to supervisors within the public school monitoring unit for further review. For each focus area, we assign one of 4 possible ratings: commendable, exceeds the requirements; implemented, meets the requirements; partially implemented, meets some but not all requirements; and not implemented, does not meet the requirements. The report is sent to the district within 60 days of the on-site visit. The final report with the district's action plan is available to the public on the department's website, and the district is required to make the report available to the public. After the report is issued, the Office of Public School Monitoring, through the chairperson, works closely with the district to develop the action plan to address any issues identified in the report. Here are examples of support. To correct non-compliance, the chairperson provides guidance to the district to develop a corrective action plan. For example, if the district does not always hold an IEP team meeting at least annually to consider the students' progress, we might advise the district to create a tracking system, train staff to use the system, and then monitor and record when IEP annual meetings are held to ensure this is consistently done on time. As an example of opportunities for improved practice, the chairperson might recommend the district train staff on universal academic, behavioral, and social supports and interventions. Even when a district is fully in compliance, there are ways the Office of Public School Monitoring works with districts to increase positive student outcomes. Chairpersons can identify training opportunities, resources, and materials. This graphic summarizes the tiered focus monitoring cycle. Every 3 years, the process begins with the district preparing a self-assessment based on the department guidelines. Then public school monitoring conducts on-site activities, resulting in a report identifying if the district meets legal requirements. Finally, the public school monitoring chair works with the district to achieve full compliance, if necessary, by developing action plans and progress reporting.
Within 3 years of the Group A review, the district begins a new tiered focus monitoring cycle known as Group B. The focus of the Group B review examines requirements for special education service providers, special education program facilities, and civil rights policies and procedures that address equal access. The steps of the process are the same: self-assessment, on-site review, analysis and report, action plans, along with progress reporting. Just as in Group A, the Group B review also includes data review, policy and procedure review, interviews, and parent surveys. The department has offices that look at school districts' compliance with education laws and regulations from different points of view, with each providing different supports or information to parents. The Problem Resolution Services Office is available to help you address specific concerns or complaints regarding your child's education, special education services, or school experience. In the Office of Public School Monitoring, we look at documents, data, and trends in district-wide practices to determine compliance with laws and regulations. If you want to access this presentation or other resources, please visit the Office of Public School Monitoring Parent Resource page. The Office of Public School Monitoring is happy to answer any questions you have about tiered focus monitoring. The tiered focus monitoring review process is an important part of your child's education. We look forward to your participation. Thank you again for taking your time to watch this presentation.
All right, thank you so much, Karen. So once again, I just want to extend my sincere gratitude to everybody for your interest in the special education and also the civil rights monitoring review for your district. But before I transition us to the Q&A session or portion of this meeting, I'd like to share my contact information and also the link to the Office of Public School Monitoring Parent Resource page, just for anyone who might need to watch the presentation again or anyone who might want to contact me with regard to the tiered focus monitoring process. So I'm going to drop that in the chat as well. And at this time, I'm just going to open the floor for anyone who has a question regarding the focused monitoring review process. And Julie and I are here to respond to any questions that you may have.
There are no questions online.
Beautiful.
Anybody else that here has questions? Yeah, use the mic. Yeah.
Any questions?
Oh, I don't think we have anybody.
All right, beautiful. Well, I want to wish everybody a wonderful evening. Once again, my contact information is in the chat. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions that regards the process. Otherwise, I wish everybody a very lovely evening, and I look forward to continue working with you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Karen.
Have a good night.
Good night.